Steven Stone here, and welcome to another edition of the Analog Studio Barn Find. So a lot of stuff going on. Pretty much finishing up this piano. This is an old Cable Nelson. It's a 1921, made out of walnut. I'm not sure they make pianos like this anymore. It certainly has a lot of character, and I've learned a lot going through this thing. It can be quite intimidating if you're used to just tuning guitar strings and you got 6 strings or maybe 12 strings, and this has what seems like thousands of strings. And each one of these keys down here has 3 strings that you've got to tune. 2 down here and then 1 string in the first octave, but there's a lot of strings to deal with. I replaced all these bridle straps. We're going to take a look at that. And these levers have a bunch of kind of hinges, and I had those, I lubricated all of those with this special Teflon powder, and you just go on there with a brush and you dip it in there, and it's just a powder, like looks like a baking soda or other things, but so you just put it on the little kind of levers and hinges, and it works pretty good actually. And a lot of these keys were kind of squeaking and that sort of thing, and that really took care of it, so that's pretty fantastic. Tuning it, I just, you can buy expensive piano tuning gear and stuff like this. I just did it with one of these little modern clip-on guitar tuners, and just clip it on here and turn it on and hit a note, and there's our D right there. So anyway, let's take a quick look at that. Other news with the Marshall amplifier, fantastic news about that was done by a very famous amp modifier back in the 1970s. It's a 1977 amplifier, and the Ed Van Halen's amp guy did that amplifier. So I'm going to dig into that a little bit more before we do a full episode on that, but that's some pretty exciting stuff. The Fender Bassman amplifier has checked out, and that's great. I had my friend that's an amp tech over, and we went through that, and it's just sounding fantastic. And we did some more testing of speaker boxes, and we compared the 212 Jensen greenbacks, and we rolled that into comparison with a 15-inch Jensen in a cabinet, and ran the Stratocaster through that, and that guitar is checked out. Although I think there's a story with that thing too. There's been some interesting modifications done on that, and it sounds great. It is a fantastic sounding guitar. You'll hear that. But anyway, back to the piano. So let's take a look. And you know the rest. So when you talk about tuning a piano, you take this piano tuner and you put it on these pegs, and all these strings in these top part have 3 strings for each note, and then down here you've got 2 strings, and then just a few down here in the first octave you got just 1 string. But this is an incredible amount of strings that you've got to tune a piano. So guitar players, take notice of that. You can see why people love the digital pianos, although they don't really quite sound as authentic as the real pianos. So what you do is there's this little tool here, and this is just a thin piece of rubber that comes to a point, and then what you do is you mute 2 of the strings. So you come in here and you stick it between a couple of the strings, and then when you hit your F, you're getting just 1. You can see on our tuner here that we're good. So that would be, because I muted the two left strings, I put it between the first and second string, so we're listening to just the third string. And we're nicely, well, yeah, just maybe a touch short, but pretty good. There we go. Now I move this over to the, in between the second and third strings, and now we're going to hear, I put this between the second and third strings, and now we're going to just hear the first string. And we're pretty good there. So then what I do is I remove it, and then I would just listen to all three strings. And we're pretty good here. So that one's in tune, and I've tuned most of this piano, although there's still a few keys that are not holding as well as I would like them to. These are the real pianos. So another thing that was done here is I put in, you can see these felts in here, and they're these the little brown felts, and then I put in some green felts to adjust the throw, and by shortening the throw, it actually gets this hammer to come off the string and not stick on there. So that's really was a great kind of discovery on this. Now if you notice under the piano here, you'll see these little red things in here, and that's these bridle straps, and there's little straps that had to be replaced, all of them. So you can imagine this took some time to replace all of these straps, one for every single key, and that was quite a job. I did a little video about that. Not that too many people are gonna be watching that, but there will be some, and I've got some good advice on how to do that, where to find them and replace them, because they basically connect the levers back here. It's kind of complicated, but there's a lever and a lever, the key. This lever goes up and down, and as it comes down, that little strap, you can see it kind of moving, and it pulls the hammer, helps pull the hammer back off the strings. So big job there. Pianos are not a lot of fun. Not really a piano player, but want to get this thing in good working order, and it's sounding good now, and it's great. And you can just see all these strings under here. I mean, these pianos are really just incredible instruments. You know, you think about the work that went into making these things by hand. You know, this was 1921, this thing, and all of this technology in here. It's really incredible. Forgotten technology. And there's something about things just sounding authentic. See how that thing moves, and all these strings, it's hitting one of these strings, and they're all at an angle, and this is like a console, kind of a spinet console, I guess, somewhere in between, but a beautiful tone, huh? This thing's made out of solid walnut. Incredible, beautiful instrument. So if you see one of those free pianos, those old ones, you might want to pick it up and have a beautiful instrument to play. But it is a beautiful thing. I mean, there's nothing like an acoustic piano, a real acoustic piano. And that's what this whole studio is about. Authenticity. Everything, you know, original, going back to authentic, real instruments, real analog instruments. And the recording of music on analog tape machines. And we've got a lot of old tapes to explore there. We'll be getting to those one of these days here, and possibly recording new music in here. So it's pretty exciting. So on that note, I'm going to leave you and let you just please subscribe to the channel, and I invite you to continue this interesting journey with me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.